Imagine a summer so unforgettable it changes your life forever. My Friends by Fredrik Backman takes us to a small town where 4 teenagers, Jawar, Ali, Ted, and the artist, come together, each carrying their own struggles, secrets, and dreams. Alone, they feel invisible, but together they discover a friendship so deep it feels unbreakable. They laugh, argue, create, and challenge one another. And in the middle of it all, the artist begins painting a masterpiece called The One of the Sea. This painting is more than just colors on a canvas. It becomes the heartbeat of their bond, the silent witness to their joys and heartbreaks. Years later, a grieving teenager, Louisa, crosses paths with the painting at an art auction, and suddenly the lives of those 4 friends ripple into her own. Backman's story isn't just about friendship. It's about how human connections can heal, inspire, and leave a legacy that lasts far beyond our own lifetimes. This is a story that will make you laugh, cry, and reflect on the friendships that have shaped you and those that still might.
First point of key, the formation of a lifelong bond. It was a summer unlike any other, a summer that promised nothing extraordinary on the surface, yet quietly prepared to change lives forever. 4 teenagers, each from completely different walks of life, found themselves drawn together by circumstances that neither could have predicted. Jonar, thoughtful yet cautious, often kept to himself, observing the world with a quiet intensity. Ali, bold and fearless, had a spark in his eyes that could ignite the dullest of rooms. Ted, sensitive and deeply empathetic, carried the weight of his family's troubles on his shoulders. And then there was the artist, whose imagination could turn a blank canvas into a world of possibilities, yet whose own heart bore scars he rarely let anyone see. The town they lived in seemed ordinary, even forgettable. Its streets were lined with modest houses, and the rhythm of everyday life moved slowly, predictably. But for these 4, the ordinary became the canvas for something extraordinary. Their paths crossed in the most unlikely of ways, an accident of timing, a shared secret, and the invisible threads of fate that pulled them closer, almost imperceptibly, day by day. It started with small gestures. Jonar offered Ted a comforting word when his frustrations at home overwhelmed him. Ali challenged the artist to be bolder in his creations, teasing him out of the shadows of self-doubt. Ted quietly listened to Ali's fears, offering a shoulder and understanding where others only offered judgment. The artist, in return, painted moments of their friendship. Small memories transformed into bursts of color that immortalized their laughter, their quarrels, and even their silences. As the days grew longer and the summer heat wrapped the town in its golden haze, their bonds strengthened. They shared secrets under the old oak tree at the edge of the park, a place that soon became their sanctuary. Here, the world outside could not touch them. Here, they were free to dream, to falter, and to grow together. They spoke of everything: hopes, fears, dreams they were too shy to admit to anyone else. They laughed until their sides ached, argued passionately about insignificant things, and yet always found a way back to each other. Because beneath every disagreement was the unspoken truth. They belonged together. The turning point came when the artist unveiled his idea for a painting, a masterpiece he called The One of the Sea. Initially met with skepticism, the others soon became his collaborators in spirit, feeding him ideas, challenging his perspective, and supporting his vision. Every brushstroke was infused with their shared experiences, every color a reflection of their emotions. The painting became more than art. It became a living memory of their summer, a testament to the bond that was forming. Through it, they discovered a new way to understand each other, communicating in colors, shapes, and textures that words could never fully capture. But the summer was not without its challenges. Each of them carried burdens that threatened to pull them apart. Jawar wrestled with the expectations of his family, the pressure to conform quietly gnawing at him. Ali's rebellious nature often clashed with authority, causing tension both at home and in the community. Ted's empathy sometimes became a trap, as he absorbed the pain of others and forgot to care for himself. And the artist, though brilliant, was plagued by insecurities that made him question his worth. Yet in these moments of struggle, the true strength of their bond revealed itself. They learned to support one another, not by fixing each other's problems, but by simply being present, offering unwavering companionship and reminding each other that they were not alone. Their adventures, though small in the grand scheme of the world, felt monumental to them. Midnight swims in the lake, whispered conversations
conversations under the stars, and spontaneous escapades that left them breathless with laughter became the threads of a tapestry woven with friendship and trust. Each memory built upon the last, creating a foundation strong enough to withstand the tests of time and distance. They began to understand that life would not always be as carefree as this summer, but the connection they were forging would be a source of strength long after the sun had set on these days. The bond also taught them about vulnerability. They realized that showing weakness did not make them less, it made them human, and allowed the others to meet them fully without pretense. Joar learned to speak up, to ask for help when he needed it.
Allie discovered that courage was not just in defiance, but also in allowing herself to trust others. Ted found that empathy was a gift, not a burden, and that sharing his feelings could bring comfort as well as understanding. The artist, whose work had always been solitary, recognized that collaboration and connection could elevate his creativity beyond what he could achieve alone. By the time summer drew to a close, the four friends had grown inseparable. Their experiences together had forged a connection deeper than they had ever imagined. It was a friendship that would not fade with the passing of days or the miles that would eventually separate them. It was a bond anchored in understanding, laughter, shared dreams, and the silent knowledge that no matter where life took them, they would carry a piece of each other within their hearts. Even after that summer ended and life pulled them in different directions, high schools, colleges, family obligations, the bond remained. Letters, phone calls, and occasional reunions could not replicate the intensity of those shared moments, but they kept the friendship alive, a lifeline across time. The One of the Sea stood as a permanent reminder of what they had built together, a silent witness to a formative summer and a promise that true friendship, once forged, can transcend everything else. Ultimately, the story of these four teenagers is more than just a tale of friendship. It is a lesson in resilience, trust, and the beauty of human connection. The summer that began as ordinary became extraordinary because of their willingness to be present for each other, to celebrate their individuality, and to accept one another without conditions. The lifelong bond they formed serves as a beacon, a reminder that sometimes the people we meet in the most unexpected moments are the ones who shape us forever.
Second point, the creation of the One of the Sea. It all began on a warm summer afternoon when the artist, one of the four inseparable friends, felt a restless energy within him, a longing to capture something bigger than himself, something that could hold the essence of their friendship. He had always been gifted, able to translate emotion into color, to breathe life into a blank canvas. Yet this time, it was different. He wanted to create a painting that would not just be admired, but would tell a story, their story, in a way words never could. The four friends gathered in his small, sunlit studio, cluttered with brushes, paints, and half-finished sketches. The air was thick with anticipation. Joar, Ali, and Ted watched as the artist prepared the canvas, sensing that something remarkable was about to unfold. They had seen his talent before, but none of them could have imagined the magnitude of what he intended to create. The artist began with broad strokes, laying down deep blues and shimmering greens to represent the vastness and unpredictability of the sea. The painting was to be called The One of the Sea, a tribute to the ever-changing tides of life and friendship. Every wave, every splash of color was infused with the emotions of the group. The laughter, the arguments, the moments of silence, and the unspoken bonds that tied them together.
Jor offered insights about balance, helping the artists shape the composition, while Ali suggested bold accents to capture their energy and spirit. Ted shared memories that had touched him deeply, giving the artists glimpses into the intimate moments that defined their summer. Each contribution became a part of the painting, not as mere suggestions, but as threads woven into the very soul of the artwork. Days turned into nights as they worked tirelessly, sometimes arguing over colors or shapes, but always returning to a shared vision. It was a collaborative creation, yet intensely personal. The artist poured his heart into every brushstroke, capturing the joy, pain, hope, and resilience of their lives. The painting became more than art. It became a reflection of their collective journey, a mirror of their hearts. When the final stroke was laid, they all stepped back in awe. The One of the Sea was alive. It seemed to move, breathe, and speak. The friends felt a profound connection to it, as if it held the essence of their summer, their growth, and their bond. It was a masterpiece that would endure far beyond the fleeting moments of their youth, a tangible reminder of a friendship that had shaped them all. In creating the One of the Sea, the friends learned that art could be a vessel for emotions too complex for words, a way to immortalize experiences and relationships. And in that shared act of creation, their friendship deepened, cementing a bond that would last a lifetime.
Third point, the ripple effect of their friendship. Years passed, and the golden summer that once united Jawar, Ali, Ted, and the artist slowly drifted into memory. Life moved forward, careers began, families formed, distances grew, but the bond they had created never truly faded. Their laughter still echoed in their hearts, and the One of the Sea remained as a silent reminder of everything they had shared. That painting, once a personal memory, began to travel beyond their small town. It found its way into exhibitions, galleries, and finally, decades later, into a prestigious art auction. There, a 17-year-old girl named Louisa stood before it, broken by loss, desperate for meaning. As she stared at the swirling blues and greens, something inside her shifted. She couldn't explain why, but the painting spoke to her. It felt alive, as if it understood her pain. Through the One of the Sea, Louisa discovered the story of the four friends who had created it so many years ago. Their friendship, their struggles, their unbreakable connection, all of it seemed to reach across time and touch her. She began to see her own grief in their resilience, her own loneliness reflected in their unity. The ripple of their friendship had traveled far, across generations, across hearts, and in touching Louisa, it breathed new life into its purpose. What began as a bond between four teenagers had now become a symbol of healing and hope for someone they would never meet. And in that moment, standing before the painting, Louisa smiled through her tears because she realized that true friendship, once born from love and sincerity, never really ends. It simply finds new hearts to reach, like ripples spreading endlessly through the sea. Fourth point, the healing power of art. When Louisa first saw the One of the Sea, she didn't know why her heart ached. She had come to the art auction simply to escape her thoughts, to fill the silence left behind by someone she had recently lost. But as she stood before the painting, the waves, the colors, the hidden sorrow behind every brushstroke, something inside her began to stir. The painting didn't just show the sea, it felt like the sea. Its currents pulled at her emotions. Its depths mirrored her grief. She could sense the friendship behind every line, the laughter and heartbreak of the four artists who had created it. Without knowing them, she felt connected, as if the painting itself reached out to her, whispering that pain and beauty exist together. Over time, Louisa began to visit the gallery often, sitting silently in front of the canvas. She started sketching again, something she hadn't done since her loss. Slowly, art became her therapy. Through colors and shapes, she expressed what words could never capture: loneliness, longing, love, and healing. In those moments, Louisa realized the true power of art. It doesn't erase pain, but it transforms it. The painting created decades ago by four friends had become her bridge from despair to hope. It reminded her that every scar can be turned into a story, every tear into a brushstroke, and every ending into a new beginning. And as she painted again, Louisa understood art doesn't just hang on walls, it lives in hearts, healing them one color at a time.
5 key point, my friends. The enduring legacy of friendship. Years faded into decades, yet the memory of that summer remained untouched, preserved in brushstrokes, in laughter once shared, in the unspoken promises of four friends who had unknowingly created something eternal. The One of the Sea no longer belonged to them alone. It had become a symbol, a living memory that carried their essence across time. Jor, Ali, Ted, and the artist may have walked different paths in life, but their bond continued to echo in every heart that stood before their painting. The sea they had painted wasn't just waves and water, it was emotion captured in motion, an eternal current of love, friendship, and resilience. Through it, their connection lived on, whispering stories to strangers, inspiring artists, and comforting souls like Louisa who found healing within its depths. Their legacy wasn't fame or recognition, It was the quiet reminder that true friendship never dies. It changes form, travels through generations, and finds new hearts to live in. What they built together in youth became something much greater, a timeless force that continued to touch lives long after they were gone. When Louisa finally grew older and told her own story of how a single painting changed her life, she unknowingly carried forward that legacy. The laughter of four friends from decades ago rippled through her words, reminding the world that connections made in truth and love never fade, they only transform. In the end, The One of the Sea was not just a masterpiece of art, it was proof that friendship, once born from sincerity, can outlast time itself. Like the sea, vast and endless, carrying echoes of those who dared to love, dream, and create together.
My Friends by Fredrik Backman is a poignant exploration of the transformative power of friendship, art, and human connection. Through its rich storytelling and deeply developed characters, the novel illustrates how the bonds formed in youth can shape lives and leave lasting legacies. It serves as a reminder of the profound impact that genuine relationships and creative expression can have on personal growth and healing.